AITA for refusing to drop my ex-husband's last name. My ex-husband, who I'll call him by his fake name Tony, and I broke up 2 years ago after 26 years of marriage. We have 4 children together. Due to the stupidity of the time and social pressure, I added my husband's last name to my name. So all my documents like identification, driver's license, passport, all credit cards, voter registration card have his last name at the end. We ended amicably even more due to the circumstances. He is gay, and we divorced. Honestly, it would suck to have to change everything. Go to government agencies, pay for everything new, go to the bank to change everything. So I didn't want to take out his last name, but I introduce myself by my maiden name. Only in the documents is it this name. Tony is currently engaged to a guy and they are going to get married in the next year. The situation that happened was, our son and his family decided to travel and invited me. He asked for my ID to make the reservations. A few days later, me, Tony and fiancé were at my grandson's party. Our son said jokingly in the conversation circle that he couldn't believe that until today I hadn't changed my last name. I laughed, saying that I was too lazy to rush to change everything that has this name on it. Tony started to ask if I really hadn't changed my name, if I didn't think that being engaged to someone else isn't the best time to change it. And he insisted that it was weird of me. I just replied, unless you can go in my place, spend hours and hours in lines, pay hundreds for it, I won't do it in the near future. We stopped talking and the party flowed smoothly. Later, he called me and said I was acting weird and a jerk by refusing to change the name, which he said was uncomfortable. I asked our son and he said he understands my side of not wanting to do this, but he understands Tony's side of being uncomfortable with his ex using his last name after the divorce. So I ask for an outside opinion. AITA? I don't intend to never change. I just don't want to go through it right now. NTA. If having his ex share a last name with him bothers him that much, then maybe he should take his fiancé's name after they marry. NTA. It is quite normal for someone to not change their last name after a divorce. I know women who have gotten remarried and didn't change their name even then because they wanted the same name as their children. NTA. After 26 years that's your name. NTA. Sometimes people like to share a common last name with their kids. After 26 years, it's your name. Do what you want. NTA. It was your name for 26 years. Tony needs to chill TF out. NTA. It's not his name. It's your name unless you don't want it to be anymore. I guess if your ex really wants a different name from you, he could pick a new one and legally change his. Why doesn't he take his boyfriend's last name? NTA. In part this speaks to male privilege. We're expected to go through the rigmarole of changing our name and then expected to change it back. But it's actually a massive pain in the ass. Also, what if you have built a career under that name? Your hesitancy is completely understandable. NTA. 26 years with a name. And a shared child with the same last name? No. You have no legal reason you need to change your name. The amount of work that goes into it is a hint PETA. You are allowed to keep that name if you want it. It's yours. Not by marriage, but because you already legally changed it decades ago. NTA. It's not up to men to tell women what name they're supposed to use. It's your legal surname as much as it is his. NTA. I'm assuming your son has your ex-husband's surname, so why shouldn't you have the same name as your offspring? It's not as if it's unknown for divorced women to keep their married name. Just look at Susan Sarandon. In Ta, once a woman takes a name, it is hers and she can keep it come divorce or high water. NTA, you had to go through the work to change your name initially. Some women never change their names after divorce and they don't have to. It's your legal name and it's not preventing your ex from getting remarried. He's the one being weird. Edit for spelling. NTA, you don't ever have to change it. Changing over all your documents sucks and costs. If he wants a different last name to you, he can change his name and find out what a pain it is. NTA. Not only is it part of your identity after 26 years, but it's another tie you have to your children. IDK what country you live in. But changing it on your social security card, license, job documents, passport, etc., can take months and hundreds of dollars. I completely get wanting to wait to change it. Plus, if you have it on any degrees, job licenses, or official work papers, it's damn difficult to change it. Your ex's comfort is no longer your responsibility. NTA. He doesn't own the name. You used it for 26 years because, as I gather from what you wrote, you were pressured to do it by people including your ex. It's your name now, so do whatever you want. Keep it forever. Change it tomorrow. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Especially someone you divorced. You don't even need a reason. NTA, it is your name. You don't have to change it for anyone. NTA, there are all sorts of reasons women decide to keep their married name after a divorce, like wanting to keep the same last name as their kids, keeping a consistent identity, business, professional reasons, or because changing your name is such a hassle like you said. NTA. You've had that last name for 28 years. It's your last name. Anyone who tries to tell you otherwise can pound sand. NTA. The moment you decided to take your ex's name, it became your name. He didn't get the last name in the divorce. It is immutably yours until such point that you decide you wish to change it. Depending on where you live, it might be free, relatively cheap to change your name upon marrying, but relatively expensive for any other reason, including divorce. You should not have to incur this additional expense. My parents were legally separated for longer than they were together and eventually divorced. My mother never went back to using her maiden name. It wasn't worth the hassle. She didn't have the money to change it. And even if she did, it would be a waste. She also wanted the same last name as her children. The only time my dad ever mentioned it was jokingly referring to there being two Mrs. Smiths when he was getting remarried. Mom shut it down by offering the pre-prepared paperwork saying that he agreed to have his children change their last name and that he would pay half for all of us to do so. When his new wife mentioned it once, it was the only time I ever saw my dad shut her down. Your husband is in awe. If he doesn't want to have the same last name as you, he should change his name and deal with the massive pain of having a prior identity for the rest of his life. NTA. There is a good chance this has been your last name longer than your original last name. Lots of people have different legal names than common use names. Lots of divorced women keeps their ex names just to be the same as their children. I know plenty of divorcee women where that is the case. He's your ex. He doesn't get a say anymore.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.